Hope you all had a good night. You really love these new topics. So do I. So do I, Z. Glad you like them. Love the top today. Thank you. All right. Comb over fleek today. Thank you. I appreciate that. I got a plan. I see all you all mocking me for a comb over and for a receding hairline. I got a plan. I got a plan. Hello, Amaka. How you doing?
Hello, I'm
Is it
alright.
Amaka? Amaka? How do I say your name?
It's Amaka.
Amaka. Fantastic. How old are you, please?
I'm 18,
And what year were you born?
2006, April 17th.
Fantastic. Can males be lesbians?
I think this is a very complex topic. I was in your live yesterday, and I just want to preface this with, I'm not very educated when it comes to the biology of males and females and stuff like that, but in my opinion, surface level, males that have transitioned into females and have taken the steps to front as a woman, they look like a woman, they act like women, they've been trans for a very long time. Of course, they can be lesbians, but maybe if you have a mustache, or if you aren't, you don't really look like women, maybe you're just a boy, and then the next day you transition, you're like, I'm a trans woman now, and I'm also a lesbian. I think that it's kind of weird. You know what I mean?
I didn't fully follow. I heard something about mustaches and transitioning.
Yeah.
So, are you saying that you can't have a mustache and be a lesbian?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is it about having a mustache that means that you can't be a lesbian?
I feel like it's because it looks very manly.
Okay. But what about looking manly means you can't be a lesbian?
Sorry if you can hear my cat.
Fine, I got 4 of them.
I guess because a lesbian is a woman that loves a woman.
Sure, but you've heard of masked lesbians, right?
Totally, but I don't think they have mustaches.
Why not?
Because they're women.
Can women have mustaches?
Obviously, I see somebody in the comment about PCOS. And yeah, no, women can have mustaches, but they usually don't want to keep them because they look manly, and women don't really want to look like men.
Typically, but can some women want to look masculine?
Yeah, I guess some do, but that isn't really the most women, you know what I mean?
Sure, it's not most women, but it's some women, right?
Totally. Obviously, there is going to be a small percentage of women that are going to want to wear mustaches. But I think that in general, women don't want mustaches.
But doesn't just because generally a woman doesn't want a mustache, does that mean that no women want mustaches?
No, it doesn't. Some women will want mustaches.
And can those women be lesbians?
Yes.
Of course. So what does mustaches have to do with the topic?
Oh no, it was just a point, I guess, that we explored, but I think what my main point was, if a trans woman who is very early in her transition, she doesn't really pass yet, would she be expected to go into women's spaces like the women's bathrooms, the women's changing rooms in the gym? No, she wouldn't. So would she also be expected to use the lesbian term if she was only attracted to women and she had just started her transition?
Let's talk about that. The implication there is that you have to look a certain way in order to use a women's restroom. What do you have to look like in order to use a women's restroom?
A woman.
And what does a woman look like?
Womanly.
What does womanly mean?
Well, let's put it this way. I am a girl, like a cis one, And if I transition to be a male, if I decide, if I kind of discover myself as like, oh my God, like, I think I might actually be a boy instead. And then the next day, I, was like, told my parents whatever. And then I walked into the boys' bathroom. I hadn't taken any steps. I hadn't been on testosterone. Is that okay? Is that okay for me to walk into the boys' restroom? I don't think so.
You're running away from the question that I asked you. What does it mean to be womanly?
I'm sorry. What it means to be womanly. I guess it is just a construct, really. But I think that in general.
Yeah, it's a construct. What is or isn't womanly is a social construct.
Yeah.
So you said in order for a woman to use the women's restroom, she has to look womanly. What does that mean?
I think this is a really difficult question to ask, and I'm not 100% sure. So can you tell me, like, what do you think about this? Because I really don't know.
I think it's dangerous to require people to look a certain way in order to use women's or men's spaces.
Really?
Right, because not everyone looks the same, right?
But I think that it can also be dangerous to be allowed to walk into a space that's meant for a specific gender if you're just saying that. Because obviously I understand that most trans people in general, they're just trans, and that's it's completely okay. I have trans friends and everything.
She got taken down for hate speech, and I got flagged for it. TikTok is just as ridiculous as always. TikTok has absolutely lost the plot. They're sticking to their guns way too much. Like, it's been shown over and over and over that the system that they're using is awful, and they're sticking to it anyways. Goddamn. I'll be back. 30 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. How are we doing?
Hello.
How are you doing, Nick?
Pretty good, and you?
Doing all right. How old are you, please?
I'm 23.
What year were you born?
What year? 2001.
Fantastic. Can males be lesbians?
No.
Why not?
But anyways, I'm not here for the topic. I want to make man again, I don't know what in the world got so nuts with drugs or something, but we need to make man again.
What does that mean?
Make man again.
Explain.
I feel like nowadays, I don't know, like that rainbow pride, that don't belong to pride, The rainbow belongs to Jesus Christ.
Why?
It does. He made man, so you gotta be a man.
Acceptable answer, or do you need to actually be able to back up your point?
What?
Is it does a good enough answer, or do you actually need to be able to back up your point?
Listen, there's no argument with this, but all I could say, we need to make man again.
What does that mean? Guys, we got a track star. Super manly track star. I need like a manly man emote, like something like with someone like flexing. I need like a Popeye the Sailor Man emote for all the manly men. Hello, Lacey. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Doing all right. How old are you, please?
42.
42. Fantastic. Can males be lesbians?
Yes. So I have a question. I do agree with you. Yes, males can be lesbians. My question is for when you go to a public restroom and you see a sign for the specific bathrooms, do you relate that to gender identity, or do you relate that to sex?
So typically, when we see restrooms, they're labeled as men or women's restrooms. Those are gender-based terms, when they're not men's and women's restrooms, they just have a picture on the wall, and that's it. We don't see male and female restrooms.
Okay. That was my question. I just, for like I was saying, like public signs, I just was wondering how that was viewed.
What do you think?
I really genuinely did not know. That's why I was asking the question.
Okay. Right, awesome. Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Do you believe that trans women belong in women's restrooms?
Yes.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope, that was my question.
Fantastic. You have a good day.
You too, thank you.
I got flagged for hate speech. What did I do? What did I do? I got flagged for hate speech. I got to reset. I want to know what I did. What did I do that could possibly have been interpreted as hate speech in any way, shape, or form? All right. I see a lot of people disagree with this background. Come on up, guys. Let's talk. Why do you disagree with this background? Why can males not be lesbians? Good morning. Goodbye. Okay. You can be whatever you want to be. That is not a claim that I am making. Now no one's connecting. All right. How are we doing, everyone? If you are new to my page, if this is your first time seeing me, say hi in chat. Anyone who would like to know how, please come on up and you can ask your questions. How can you join? You have to have 200 followers. Wow, we got a ton of new people here. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hey there, Bree. Hey there, Brad. Hey there, Yesvin. Good morning, Broken. How you doing?
Good.
How old are you, please?
I'm 29.
And what year were you born?
95.
2995. Fantastic. Can males be lesbians?
I'm just really confused how that can be a thing, because lesbians are primarily women, I thought. I'm not here to argue, I'm just asking a genuine question, like, what's the science behind it?
I agree that lesbians are typically women, but are lesbians always women?
I guess not necessarily.
So what other genders do you think can be lesbians?
Well, like, is a lesbian only for females? But
It's a good question. I think that's a totally fair question.
If lesbians can be males, then that means a gay person can be a female, right?
Sure, I would argue that a gay man can be female, but
Okay.
so there are other. Let me ask you this: can a non-binary person be a lesbian?
Yes.
Agreed. So that means that not just women are lesbians. There are other genders that are also lesbians, right?
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying now.
Okay, awesome. Now my next question is: are sex and gender the same thing?
That I'm not really sure about. I don't know.
Okay. Well, by definition, per the Oxford Dictionary, thank you so much for the sub. Appreciate you, Savannah. Biological sex refers to your reproductive functions, like your genitalia, your chromosomes, your hormones, etc. And gender is psychosocial. Gender is in your head, and it is social. So gender is not related to your reproductive functions. So while they typically align, typically if you're male, you're a man. If you're female, you're a woman. It's not always the case. Sometimes you can be a male woman.
Okay.
Does that make sense? It's okay to say no. It's okay
Not
to ask
really.
for clarification.
Not really, but it's not because I have a closed mind. I mean, it's just all new to me.
That's
So
okay.
I'm trying to understand different people's points of view to try to form my own opinion.
That's fine. So let me try to put this in a slightly different way. Like, there are different aspects to the human experience, right? Like there's the physical experience. Like we have our bodies. There's the social experience, how we interact with people. There's what we have going on in our head. We have all these different human experiences, right?
Correct.
And they're all, even though they all come together to create one overarching experience, we can still break it down into different sections.
Correct.
Okay. So one of those sections is our reproductive functions. We can have a penis, we can have a vagina, we can have both. We can have neither. We can have estrogen, we can have testosterone, we can have XX chromosomes, XY chromosomes, any number of chromosomal combinations. Our neurological sex varies, etc. We have all these different things that come together to form our reproductive function. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sure. And then a totally different aspect of the human experience would be how we interact with each other and what and the knowledge that we have about ourselves. Like when we think about our psychology, when we think about the facts that we know about ourselves, that's within our head. Like when we think about ourselves, that's happening up here, right? It's not happening down between our legs. It's happening up here.
Yeah.
When we think about what we know about who we are as a person. So those are both different things. When we try to think about, am I a man, am I a woman, etc., that's happening up here. When we think about whether or not we can reproduce, what parts we have, that's down here. Different aspects of all part of the human experience, but different aspects of the human experience, right?
Yeah.
Sure. So the part down here, that's your biological sex. That's male, female, intersex. The part that's happening up here, that is gender, man, woman, non-binary. Does that make a little more sense?
Okay.
So those are different things. Usually, if you're male, you're going to be a man. So usually, if you have a penis, you're up here, you're going to think of yourself as a man. And usually, if you have a vagina, up here, you're going to think of yourself as a woman. That's what is typically going to happen, but not always. Because these are different systems, they don't always line up perfectly.
Okay.
Does that make a little more sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. It's okay to not get it all in one go. This stuff takes time. I don't expect people to just understand right off the bat.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
Not really. I'll research it more and I'll try to understand it.
Awesome. That's all I ever ask of anyone is to make the effort. That's all I ask.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye. That was a good conversation. Let's get some W guests in chat, guys. W guest in chat. Just a heads up to people that have been up in the past, I am going to prioritize new guests. Hello, Ashley. How you doing?
Hi,
How old are you, please?
I'm 19.
And what year were you born?
2005.
2005. Fantastic. Can males be lesbians?
No.
Why not?
I think that like a lesbian would be a female. I don't think that's right either way. I don't think it's okay to be gay. I think a woman's supposed to be with a man. And I don't think a real man would be gay. I think it's a little boy because a real man would never take it up the butt from another man.
Okay, so we're not gonna talk about intimacy, all right?
Okay.
Okay. So first thing I need you to understand is that there's multiple forms of attraction. There is intimate attraction and there is romantic attraction, okay? So not everybody experiences intimate attraction to other people. Some people only experience the romantic attraction. So you can only experience romantic attraction and still be attracted to members of the same gender. So a man could be attracted to another man romantically and not intimately.
Okay, so I have a question.
It's not all about the act of sex.
I have a question. So, like,
Sorry?
even though that man can be, like, romantically attracted to that man, right? When that man, like, feels like he is romantically attracted to a man, I feel like instead of, if that other person's interested in trying to pursue that, you should go and, like, get mental help.
So okay, I was hoping that you would tell me if you did or didn't understand what I just said before we moved on.
Oh, sorry. I kind of understand what you said, yeah.
So you understand the difference between intimate attraction and romantic attraction?
Yeah, I do. I get
You can
that.
experience both, you can experience one or the other, or you can experience neither. You on the same page there?
So I don't really understand that. Like, I don't understand how somebody can be asexual. Like, obviously you haven't been in bed with the right person then.
Okay, that is an incredibly problematic thing to say. That's the kind of thing that men say to lesbians about correcting them. You just haven't been with the right man yet.
Yeah. Because that lesbian hasn't been with the right man yet.
Okay, Ashley, we're not doing this.
Okay.
Hello, how you doing, Jack?
Hello, can you hear me properly?
Yes, I can. How old are you, please?
I'm 19.
19. What year were you born?
2005.
2005. Okay. Can males be lesbians?
No, they can't.
Why not?
Because a lesbian is a girl that likes a girl. So I think it's common sense.
Can males be women?
Can a male be a woman? No.
Why not?
But could you either born a man or a woman?
What does it mean to be a man?
A man is a man. You're born with...
That's a circular definition. I'm looking for
You're
details.
born with a penis?
Born with a penis. Okay, so if you're born with a penis, you're a man.
Well, yeah. A woman can't be born with a penis, can they?
Sure, women can be born with penises. My follow-up question, though, is are you familiar with aphalia?
No.
Aphalia is when a male is born without a penis.
Okay, but there's other things that make them a man as well. They're not born with a womb.
What
And
are
I know that you'll bring up the point which is says some women aren't born with a womb. They're still born with the same functions that a man isn't.
With what?
Womb, ovaries, vagina, uterus,
Not all women are born with those parts.
different chromosomes. It's common sense at the end of the day.
What is common? Where's the common sense?
It is just common sense.
Common sense is a fallacy. Okay, so you said chromosomes. What chromosomes?
X, Y, and X.
What do you know about chromosomes?
Not much, but I know the basis, and I think to this sort of thing, which is basically common sense, you only really need to know the base of it. A man has different chromosomes to a woman. That's all I need to know.
What chromosomes do men have? What chromosomes do women have?
I think men have X and women have XY. At the top of my head.
You actually have that backwards. It's typically men have XY and women have XX.
Yeah, but you're still born with difference. That's all I really need to know.
Okay, did you know that sometimes males have XX chromosomes? Sometimes females have XY chromosomes.
Yeah, exactly. Different chromosomes.
Did you know that there are other combinations besides XX and XY? There's XXY, there's X.
Okay, but I can guarantee you women aren't born with the same chromosomes a man can be born with. I think it's really just common sense. I think.
I literally just told you that women can be born with XY.
Okay, well, we'll move off that then, because you're obviously right. Obviously, I'm not going to discuss something I don't know, but I just think it's common sense. There's just so many different factors which makes a man and a woman
It's
a woman.
not genitalia, and it's not chromosomes. So what's next? What's the next requirement to being a man or a woman?
Do you see? It's just common sense. There's really nothing to say. I just really think it's
common
delusional.
sense. You should easily be able to describe it.
A man is a man. A woman is a woman.
That's circular.
You're either born a man or a woman. When you die, you're either going to be a man or a woman. When you die, you're going to be a man. When you die, you're going to be put down as a man.
Can you tell me what a circular definition is?
No.
Circular definition is when you use the word you're trying to define in the definition. So if you're trying to define what a woman is, you would say a woman is a woman. That doesn't tell you anything because you've just used the word you're trying to define within that definition.
Repeat that.
A circular definition is when you use the word that you're trying to define in the definition.
Oh, right, okay. But still, all right, so if you're a woman, so you obviously identify as a woman, right?
Yes, I'm a woman.
Yes, so when you die, will you be saw as a man or a woman?
Will I be what as a man or a woman?
Will you be saw as a man or a woman?
Well, I will be seen as a woman.
No, you'll be seen as a man.
Why?
This is what I mean. You go into the why, but it's just common sense, really. You'll be saw as a man.
Why?
Because you're a man. You'll be saw as a man because you're a man.
What makes me a man?
Because you're born a man. You can't just change that.
Continuing to use circular logic.
Change.
I'm trying to get you to tell me why, and all you're doing is repeating what you've already said.
You see, this is what I mean. This is where the delusion comes in. I don't need to explain why. It's common sense.
Why do you not have to explain?
Because it's so in depth. We'd be sat here all day.
Then it's not very. If it's so in depth, then it's not very common, is it?
No, being trans isn't common. If that's what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about. You're making the claim that a man is a man, and when I ask you why, you say it's common sense.
Okay, so my mom, I came out her vagina. I came out her womb. I was made in her womb. She's a woman. She can make kids. I was produced in her womb. Lots of different processes. I was born from her, and then I was born as a man. That's all. On my birth certificate, I'm a man. On my mom's birth certificate, she's a girl.
What about that process makes you a man?
I'm born with a penis.
Born with a penis. We already went down this line. We're back to the beginning again. We already established that not all men are born with penises.
My sperm.
Sperm. Okay. Do all men produce sperm?
No.
No, they don't.
They have the parts to make sperm.
Do all men have testicles?
Nope.
No,
Still.
they don't. So not all men have the parts to make to make sperm.
Parts to make sperm aren't in the testicles.
Okay, great. Do all men have the parts necessary to create sperm?
No, but they're meant to be born with it. That's why it's a disability.
Meant to be. When you say meant to be, what does that mean?
Their bodies are made to it. It's a disability. You're meant to be born with it. Just because you're not born with it doesn't mean you shouldn't have it.
What does it mean to be meant to be born with something?
Meant to be born with something. Well, obviously, a man is meant to have testicles. A girl is meant to have a vagina.
Why are we meant?
That's how reproduction works. How do you think we came about? It wasn't men and men going together. It wasn't women and women going together. It was men and women going together.
Women and women can reproduce together. Men and men can reproduce together.
No, they can't.
Transgender people exist, whether you like it or not. But okay, so you're saying that we are meant for something. What are we meant for?
What are humans meant for?
Yeah, what are humans meant for?
To reproduce.
To reproduce. Why is that our what we're meant for?
Of course, it's what we're right then. So what if none of us reproduce?
Capable of, typically. I don't think there is any purpose. I think we have capabilities, but I don't think that we have inherent purpose. We decide our own purpose.
All right. So if your mum and your dad didn't reproduce, you wouldn't be sat here right now, and I wouldn't be sat here right now.
Sure, then I wouldn't exist. That has nothing to do with purpose.
So
reproduction is something that we're capable of, not something that we are meant to do. It's just something that we're capable of doing.
Well, reproduction gave you your purpose. You would have no purpose if your mum and dad didn't.
If I hadn't been produced, then I wouldn't have a purpose. That is a true statement. But that doesn't mean that we as people are all meant to produce. We're capable of producing, typically, but we're not meant to.
Okay, well, if no one reproduced, none of us would exist, would we? And then no one has a purpose.
That doesn't back up your claim.
What do you mean? It does back up my claim. If reproduction wasn't what we're here for, no one would be here.
There is nothing that we are here for. There are things that we are capable of doing. There's a whole series of things that we're capable of doing, but that doesn't mean that we have to do them or that we're supposed to do them.
One thing which everyone is born to do is reproduce. And when you're born.
Are all people capable of reproducing?
All people, no, they're not.
Can people that are not able to reproduce have a purpose?
Yeah, but they got that purpose from reproduction.
Jesus Christ. They got it because they exist. Sure, I will concede that. But I'm beyond the act of having been born. Can a person who does not have the ability to reproduce have a purpose?
Repeat that, I zoned out.
Beyond the act of having been born, can a person who does not have the ability to reproduce have a purpose?
Yeah, but none of them purposes will come to the importance of reproduction, really. If no one reproduces, there's no life. And that's with every single species on the planet. No reproduction, nothing.
Sure, if the universe didn't exist, none of us would have a purpose. Good job, Jack. Good job.
Yeah. So, reproduction is the purpose of life. That's how life exists. That's how you exist.
No, reproduction is not the purpose of life. There isn't a purpose of life.
What's the purpose of life then? What is the most important thing to do with life?
No purpose to life. We just exist by chance.
We don't exist by chance. We exist by reproduction. Every single sperm cell can exist with reproduction.
Why are there people on the planet Earth? Where do humans come from?
I believe we came from evolution, like monkeys and...
Sure, so I agree. We came from evolution. And where did the first ever species come from? Thank you for the swan.
Where does the swan distracted me?
The first ever bit of life on Earth, where did it come from?
Species, living things.
The first ever living thing on Earth, where did it come from?
No one knows that. No one can know that.
It came from some puddle and a bunch of molecules came together in just the right way, right?
Right. Well, some people would say that we came from a god. I don't personally believe that, but I respect that they think
We've
that.
already established that we both agree, understand evolution. That we both.
Yeah, well, I agree. So we'll discuss that then.
You're trying to make the claim that our purpose is to reproduce, and I'm telling you that no, there is no purpose. We just exist by chance, by pure dumb chance. A bunch of things happen to happen all together in just the right way to create a bunch of molecules that could reproduce.
A chance which is caused by reproduction. Reproduction. No reproduction, no chance.
Not. Why do you think like all of a sudden no one's going to reproduce?
Well, I mean, it's. I don't really know what point you're making, but if no one
So people are
reproduces,
going to
no one
keep
will exist.
reproducing. So, and also a male lesbian could reproduce with a cisgender lesbian.
Oh, what? Sorry.
A male lesbian, right? Which would be.
Well, a
most
man
likely-
can't be lesbian. That is just stupid because a lesbian is a woman that likes a woman. So how can you say that a male can be lesbian when a lesbian?
They would be a woman who was assigned a male at birth, a transgender woman, and a transgender woman can reproduce with a cisgender woman. So your whole reproduction argument is ridiculous.
I wouldn't say so. I say it's ridiculous to you because I feel like this is made up fully of delusions. Anyone that is
Yeah, you haven't been able to ask me
This is very
simple
delusional.
claim. I've asked you simple questions, and your response has been, "It's common sense." If
it
it's
is.
common sense, you would be able to actually make a point.
But the only point that needs to be made is that it's common sense because it is. I don't really.
Can
You're,
lesbians reproduce?
can lesbians reproduce?
You're obsessed with reproduction. Can lesbians reproduce?
Yeah, they can reproduce. Yeah.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Those are
Lesbians
man.
can reproduce. Okay, let's get off of reproduction now because it's not relevant because lesbians can reproduce.
Okay, that's not about males can be lesbians. I don't understand what point you made.
You're the one who went down the reproduction line, not me, okay?
Okay. Well, okay, so what's a lesbian?
A lesbian is a non-man attracted to non-men.
Okay, well, a male is a man. A male is not a non-man. So there you go.
Okay, can you tell me the difference between sex and gender?
Sex and gender. They're both the same. It's made up fad.
Why are they the same thing?
Of course, they're the same thing.
I said why. I didn't tell you that they were or weren't. I said why.
It's a hard question to ask when I'm not living in delusion because they are just the same thing. It's a made up fad.
Define them then.
Define a man or a woman.
No, define sex.
Sex. Well, you're born a man or a woman. There's
Sex
two
is whether
genders.
you're born a man or a woman.
No, babies are not men and women.
Men, women, men is just an adult boy. They're both the same gender.
So are you born an adult?
Are you born an adult? No, you're not, but it's literally the same gender.
But there's a difference still, nonetheless.
No, that's not the same as non-binary female and male. And a man is still a boy. It's just an older boy.
Man is not a boy. Absolutely not.
Man is not a boy.
Right, they are different
It's an
things.
older boy. It's still the same gender, yeah.
Great. So those genders do align, but again, when we're talking about males, male is not a gender in this context.
Male is not a gender. Well, there's two genders.
Is a sex. There are more than two genders. This is silly.
There is not. Right, what genders are there?
There are lots of genders. There's quite a few genders under the non-binary umbrella.
No, there's not. That's made up. So we go back to 1800s.
All genders are made up.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we'll go
all
back to the
genders are made up.
1800s and we observe 3+ genders in many, many cultures.
What did you say? That was quiet on my phone anyway.
If we go back to the 1800s, we continue to observe cultures with 3+ genders.
No, we don't. You would have been cast a witch. And
Oh
you would
my
have,
god.
Response
I
is
might get banned for saying this, but
constantly
you would have been saw as a witch and you would have been unalived back
Yeah,
in the
do
day.
you
I'm
know
not
what
agreeing
we
with that.
did
but-
to cultures that were different to us, Jack?
What did you say?
We committed genocide when there were cultures that were different than us. That's what we did.
Yeah, I don't agree with
Yeah,
that.
those cultures that had 3+ genders, we eradicated them.
You eradicated them. No, we didn't.
Yes, Americans eradicated the indigenous people.
Okay, well, how about you help me understand then? Because I'm not going to understand, by the way, because it's two different mindsets. But
So help me understand, but I'm not going to understand. So did you just say that you're just going to remain ignorant on this topic?
Why? Because there is nothing to understand.
Okay, why are you here?
You're either a man or a woman.
Help me understand, but there's nothing to understand, is what you said.
You're not helping me understand.
You don't want to understand.
Guys, please vote
I
in
would
the poll.
happily understand if there was something to understand, but this is all a fad. Okay, how is it not a fad? How is it? How can you not be a gender? How can you? So you're nothing. So non-binary is nothing. So
Is a fad.
a fad, something that's made up.
No.
So all things that are made up are a fad?
No, that's the context I'm saying it.
You don't have the ability to define things.
No, I don't, because why would in this subject, there is maybe in like an actual debate with two actual things, but I don't need to define things when it's literally just that blatantly obvious. I don't know what's going on inside your head, but clearly it's just, I don't want to say something's gone wrong, but so something's not being understood.
Jack, you have not defended a single point that you've made, not one. Let's see, do people still want you here or do they not want you here? Let's see what the results are. Oh, you're staying up. People want you up, all right? People want to hear what you got to say.
Okay.
Great.
That was a bit rude, Mel.
Great. You've been saying lots of rude things that, that there's something wrong in transgender people's heads. I'm the one who's rude here.
I've actually been speaking the truth. You don't like to hear the
Me
truth.
saying great with a sarcastic tone is rude. But you're here saying that transgender people are delusional, living in that crazy land, right? All these things that you're implying, and I'm the rude one?
You live in crazy land. You're saying I live in crazy land. You live in crazy land. You believe there's about 1,000
That's what
different
I was
genders.
saying you said.
I'm not being funny. Let's get back to reality here. Yeah, there's two genders in crazy land, and then you're the one in your head making up that there's loads of different genders. How about you tell me the 10,000 different genders?
Define gender for me.
Define gender.
Yes.
Man or woman?
Man or woman. Okay, those are genders, but that is not the definition of gender. What is the definition?
I don't know the exact definition of gender. I know there's man or woman.
Yeah. Go look it up.
If I look it up, it'll kick me off, I think.
No, it won't. You can go back to your phone's home screen and it won't kick you. We'll give you a moment to bring it up. Good morning, Mel.
Good
The
morning.
female sex or the male sex is the
Keep
definition.
reading. That's not the definition. Where'd you go?
I got flagged. That's the third time already today. We've been live
Really?
for 5 minutes. Third time I've been flagged. All right, we're gonna reset. Back in a moment. Follow me if you want to see the live again, guys. I'll be right back. I got 38 people in requests. The first people to get here are going to be the people that I bring up. So request fast.
Hello.
Hello, Kai. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right. How old are you, please?
I am 25. My birthday is this Saturday. I'll be 26.
Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Can males be lesbians?
In my opinion, I do not see how a male could be a lesbian, because if a lesbian is considered to be women-based, it's a women-based sexuality. I don't believe that they can be considered lesbian if they identify as male in any way. And if they don't identify as male in any way, but they were biologically born a male, they are not a male anymore. They are considered a female under, their transition or whatever. I'm sorry, I have a baby, so if you hear her cry a little bit, that's what it is.
Okay, so
That's just my
Okay, so Kai, are transgender women women?
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic, awesome, love it. So it sounds to me like we just have a little bit of a disconnect on sex and gender. Do you know the difference between sex and gender?
Sexual orientation, I believe, is what you like choose to engage with or like procreate with, and then
I'm not talking about sexual orientation. I'm talking about biological sex.
Well then no, because I feel like sex would be what you're biologically born with, and gender would be what you identify as. Am I correct or am I wrong on that?
Biological sex is your reproductive parts.
Yes.
Your reproductive functions, and gender is psychosocial. They frequently align, and there are connections between them, but they don't always align. So you can have a sex that is different than your gender.
Well, yeah, obviously, that's what I agree with. I agree with that people can be born biologically one way, but you can identify mentally as something else and then portray yourself as such, and that's perfectly okay.
So my gender identity is woman. That's the psychological and physical. You have a lot of background noise.
Yeah, it's my daughter's cartoons. I can't really turn that off.
Understandable. Would it be reasonably possible to go to a quieter place?
I live in a studio apartment. Is this any better?
It is. It is better.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So, what was I saying? Fuck. Right. So my gender is woman. That's the psychological and social part. But there are a bunch of different sex characteristics. There's 5 general categories: your genitalia, your chromosomes, your hormones, your neurological sex, and your fuck another one. What am I missing? Your gonads. Many of those sex characteristics can be changed. Some of them can be muted.
Hold up 1 second. I'm so sorry to apologize. I'm going to apologize for this. Your comment section, for one, you can leave my child out of it. My child has nothing to do with it. You don't call my kid a brat. You don't say that you don't want to hear my kid. My kid has nothing to do with this. She's an innocent 10-month-old infant. If you have a problem with her, then that's not my problem.
Yeah, guys, let's leave people's kids out of this. That's ridiculous. Let's not do that.
You can have a problem with me all you want. That's fine. But don't have a problem with my kid. She's not in this.
Okay. So yeah, there are many different aspects of sex. There's your genitalia, your chromosomes, your gonads, your neurological sex, your hormonal sex. Thank you so much for the sub. Appreciate that. 5-month subscriber. And some of those sex characteristics can be changed. Your genitalia can be changed. Your hormone levels can be changed. Some of those sex characteristics can be muted, or your gonads you can remove.
Also, I'm not mad.
Sorry?
They're just saying I'm mad. I'm not mad. I'm trying to listen.
Wait, I don't think you're listening to Adora.
Yeah.
No, I am. I can hear exactly what she's saying.
I get you defending
I
your
don't
kid.
need you to tell me what I can and can't hear.
But other than that, please don't engage in the comments.
Right, they're probably going to get worse now that you pointed that out, unfortunately.
Especially when you call them out. Yeah. Okay. So your gonads can be removed. You can't change from male gonads to female gonads, but you can remove them completely. And some sex characteristics cannot be changed at all. Your neurological sex cannot be changed, and your chromosomal sex cannot be changed. So I cannot deny. I'm assuming that my character is XY, and I would have XY chromosomes. So I cannot change the fact that I have male chromosomes. So I am at least partially male.
Well, yeah, but you don't identify as male.
I identify as a woman. I recognize that I am at least partially male, and I do also have female sex characteristics.
Well, yeah, and that's totally what you want to do, and that's you. But I'm saying if someone is identifying as male, they cannot say I'm male and lesbian, because if you're identifying as a woman, then you can't identify as both. You're saying I am a woman. Biologically, I'm a male, but I identify as a woman, therefore I am a woman. You can't backtrack and say all that stuff.
So when it comes to your biology, that's not an identity. Like when our reproductive functions aren't an identity. We can change them, but some parts we can't change. And I don't get to identify my chromosomes as female chromosomes if they're not. They just are male. That's not a choice that I get to make. I don't get to identify them as something else. So I do have male chromosomes.
Yes, I get that you have male chromosomes. However, you identify as a female. Therefore, you are not okay, a woman, still biologically known as a female. Other words, they are synonyms to each other. Female.
No,
and
they're
woman,
actually not.
same thing. They actually are.
Right, like I am female and a woman, like, but they're separate things. And I
How
can
are
be
they
both.
separate things?
Female is my
Define female and define woman.
female is my sex, woman is my gender, and Dora's been explaining all of this.
I don't think you've been listening, Kai. I think you've been focused on chat.
I haven't even been looking at the chat. I'm not even looking at my phone. I have an AirPod in my ear.
Well, like, she's literally been explaining this.
Yes, I get that. However, when I say that when you identify as a woman, you're also backtracking and saying that males can be lesbians when lesbianism is considered to be a woman's sexuality.
Right, and
when
she
you
is
start-
a woman. She's a woman.
When you start claiming that males can be lesbians, it just starts this. Okay, go ahead. I'm not gonna get cut off.
Let me try a slightly different angle. I got my surgery a year ago, and I started my hormones 3 years ago. So let's say I hadn't gotten my surgery, and I haven't and I hadn't started hormones. That would mean my genitalia would be male, my chromosomes would be male, my gonads would be male, my hormone levels would be male, and my neurological sex would be female. That would be four male sex characteristics, one female sex characteristic. What biological sex would you say that I am at that point?
Biologically, I would say that you're male because you can't change what you were born as, scientifically,
I
internally.
can't change everything about my sex.
No, you can't. Okay. Well, if you put it that way, then I'll fold. I can see where you're coming from.
Okay.
Yeah, you convinced me. I'm one of the ones that you convinced.
Fantastic. Anything else, Kai?
All right.
Okay. All right, you have a good one, Kai. It took a little bit to get there, but we got there. So, it's not always a perfectly straight path. Sometimes it's a little bit jagged and a little bit rough, and that's okay. We got there. Okay. How are we doing, everyone? This is our 4th fucking stream already. If you are a follower of mine, write Grayskull in chat. And don't forget that on next Friday, not tomorrow, next Friday, Mel and I are doing a Melodora duo. I just ordered all my parts, all my costume parts. So I'll actually be prepared this time.
Awesome. I don't know what I'm doing, but I have a bunch of shit here. I'll wing it. I was going to say something. What was it? Damn it. Yesterday when you did your marathon, did you get any flags?
A handful. I think 3 total.
I was just wondering if there was something there, but maybe not. Okay.
I don't know.
We can't figure this shit out.
It changes on the fly, and they don't tell us what's going on. Okay, so yeah, I see all the gray skulls. Love you guys.
Somebody said you're doing a Melodoro duo now. I mean, kind of, but someone else could join. I could leave.
Thank you, Emma.
When it's a Melodoro duo, like we're committed.
And it's themed. We're committed, and it's themed.
Yeah, and there's
Hello,
a different layout.
Marie.
Hello.
How old are you, please?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. What'd you say?
How old are you, please?
37.
37. All right. Can males be lesbians?
No,
Why not?
absolutely not. Because lesbians are two females that like each other.
Do lesbians have to be female?
Yes, that is the definition of a lesbian, is a female that likes other females.
Okay, so why do lesbians have to be female?
Because that's the definition of a lesbian. A lesbian is a woman who likes another woman.
Are trans women women?
No,
Well, there it is.
There it is.
trans women are men.
Oh,
That's
Jesus.
Trans men.
It's nice though when they say trans women are men instead of trying to do the trans women are trans women thing.
Say it with your
Come
whole
out and
chest.
say it. Just
You already know whether you like.
Okay, T. Marie, what would you say to all these cisgender lesbians that are in my DMs?
I'm not cisgender. I am a female.
I
am
wasn't
born
talking about you.
woman.
You're not in
and
my DMs,
nobody
are you?
will ever tell me that I am
T. Marie,
cis.
are you in my DMs or are you running from my question?
I'm a woman. You will not discredit us. We bear children. We are women. We have
Congratulations on bearing children. Good for you.
Yes, that's what we are here for. We are women.
You're here to give birth.
We are here to reproduce. Yes, we are.
Oh God.
That's sexist.
It's not sexist. It's facts. Everything that was put on this earth
I love how you
is a
completely
male
avoided
or
my
female.
question just to show how misogynistic you are.
I'm not misogynistic at all.
You think that women's
You're
purpose is
delusional.
to have babies.
You're delusional.
The irony of that statement, T. Marie.
Everybody literally like agrees.
Does everybody agree? Mel, do you agree?
Mel is delusional, baby.
Oh, okay.
Everyone who
She's
disagrees
male
with you
and
is
she thinks she's
delusional.
male and female.
What?
She's a woman.
What?
Didn't she say that she thought she was like male and female?
Me?
Yeah, did you say that earlier when Jack was on? No. I thought I thought that you said when Jack was on because y'all were trying to like get Jack confused and
We don't talk about previous guests. That's a rule.
Well, okay, I'm
We
sorry.
don't
about
try
that.
to get people confused. We actually try to get them to understand. But
there's no understanding.
But when people say that they just
trying to
don't want to
make it
learn or they reject the information, there's nothing we can do about it. And it seems like that's what you're also going to
No, baby. No. Y'all are trying to convince other people that you can become something that you can never be.
No.
Like, you can create a.
Marie, you're not
hole in your
engaging with a
body.
single question that's being asked to you. You're just saying your own thing.
What about the question I'm asking you? How
What
can you become, how do you feel in your mind that you can actually become a woman?
I became a woman by reaching the age of adulthood.
How? When you were born a male?
Aging. By rotating around the sun.
No, you were born a male. You never became a woman.
Yeah, some people's gender identities develop incongruent from their sex. So
Okay,
you can be
that's
male and a
wrong.
woman.
That's wrong.
It's not wrong, actually.
He can have surgery that creates a wound in his body.
Okay. You're just gonna ignore
and
me.
you have to like constantly keep it open. That's your body's rejecting that.
Bye.
Well, you don't like what I'm saying, so it's bye.
I don't like you misgendering Adora. Just
I'm not misgendering anything. This is an open conversation.
Vote in the poll. Let's see.
Let's vote in the poll.
Team Marie up, or are we moving on?
Great. You need to stop misgendering her. Like that's like a basic fucking respect.
This is an open discussion.
Just because we have an open discussion,
You're just being
But you
incredibly
can't
rude.
you can't knock other people's.
Fourth flag. Fourth flag.
what? And they wanted to keep her.
Right.
Are you guys okay?
Right. I guess I'm going to stop doing the polls because it is not even in the chat. All right, guys. I'll be right back. 30 seconds. If you're in
Look at
requests.
the views again. God dang it. Okay.
Jesus, we're up to. And we're sub only with 2,000 views. Jesus.
Crazy. All right.
All
We'll be
right.
right back.
I'll be back.
Hi, Adora.
Hello, Alyssa. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing all right. How old are you, please?
I'm 21.
Fantastic. Can males be lesbians?
Now, my initial answer to this question was no, but then I thought about it, and I had a couple of questions before I gave like an actual answer, if that's okay.
Okay, go for it.
So, if we're talking about lesbians that maybe have like a genitalia preference, right? Would it be okay to assume that like if somebody is fully transitioned, like that being like socially and medically, that they could still like have that relationship with that lesbian woman who has that genitalia preference?
I do think that genitalia preferences are not inherently transphobic. They can be rooted in transphobia, but I don't think that they're automatically rooted in transphobia. So a lesbian who wants to date a woman that has a vagina, I think that's valid.
Okay. So then my answer to this question would then be yeah, males can be lesbians.
Okay, awesome. You have a good one.
You too.
Bye. Okay, we're back again, guys, and we got requests like crazy. We're already up to 21 requests. Love to see it. Everyone tap that screen, and if you're new to my live, say hi in chat.
Hello. How are you?
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right. How old are you, please?
I'm 34.
34, fantastic. And can males be lesbians?
I just want to like mention a few things, and it's not in a disrespectful way. It's just maybe perhaps like, you know, some people in the community might not be aware of verbiage. And that woman who was just here a minute ago brought up a good point that there can be lesbians who have a preference down there. So usually in the community, we call that a queer relationship instead of lesbian, just because it helps people separate. You know, obviously labels help determine, you know, explaining things.
Sorry, I missed that part.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you miss?
What is a queer relationship?
What you're trying to explain, because you said that you identify as a woman, which is completely valid and okay. I am very accepting of all kinds of people, even non-binary. The issue is we use labels to try to help describe things, to make things less confusing so people can understand us. And I think that the reason that you have people reacting the way they might be, some of it comes from, you know, the phobias, but some of it might just come from like trying to explain the differences. And it's not gatekeeping, it's more about just helping explain things with verbiage that we create to have different explanations. So lesbian is something that is, in my opinion, women with women. And yes, you can be, you know, identifying as a woman now, and you are a woman now, and that's fine, and I'm fully accepting. But it just helps understand a little better to explain, because technically, yes, you are a woman, but if we're getting to the nitty-gritty scientific part, it is a trans woman. So because we have those identifications to help explain to people, especially when you're dating a partner is somebody who you should like know things about, and you know, you should be aware of their medical, you know, background.
No disclosure. Can tall women be lesbians?
I'm sorry, say that again?
All women be lesbians?
I would love for you to just hear my point without like thinking it's coming from hate or trying to like get me into like...
It is separating trans identities.
All I'm trying to say is that there are definitions for what you're trying to explain. They've been created by the community, right, which I am in and I am supportive of.
Non-men.
What's that?
A woman is a non-man who loves other non-men. A lesbian.
Okay, I'm just trying to say that there's words for the definitions you're already trying to, you know, explain. All I'm trying to say is that, you know, women with women is lesbian, and what you are a woman, and that's fully...
So I can be a lesbian, by your own definition.
But we call that queer in this situation because you are a woman, but you are a trans woman.
Oh, so I don't get to be a lesbian because I wasn't, because I'm trans.
Be rude, and I don't want this to get excited or something.
We're being exclusionary, Izzy.
I'm actually not. I'm just trying to explain.
No, you are excluding me.
My next sentence is trying to say.
You are literally excluding me from being a lesbian.
I'm actually just saying that we in the community, which I am in, have created a definite...
Izzy, I'm in the community.
So am I, and that's why I'm accepting of you, and I'm being polite, and I'm trying
to... You're not. Izzy, I reject your acceptance.
Okay, I'm just trying to explain that there's a word for the definition you are explaining. You also said you like non-binary. Non-binary means...
It's lesbian. The word is lesbian.
You said you like non-binary, so that means you are queer. You said you like women
and non-binary people be lesbian?
You said you like non-binary also.
Can non-binary people be lesbian?
You said you like non-binary also.
Non-binary people be lesbian?
Yes. That would be queer. That would be queer. We in the community have...
What you're saying is no, non-binary people cannot be lesbian.
If you look it up, there is a term for what you're explaining, and I'm not invalidating...
You're just running away from my question.
Non-binary can't be woman. You're non-binary. It's respecting what they're wishing. They're wishing non-binary, then I don't want to call them a woman. That's not lesbian. That is actually rude.
I don't think that the lesbian requires being a woman. I think that you can be non-binary.
You just said lesbian, which means woman and woman. So you're not really...
it doesn't.
You are not making sense when I'm just trying to finish a
Non-man.
thought without you getting mad at me. I just want to finish a thought and explain the words in our community.
But what you're doing is gatekeeping.
I'm not
Yeah.
gatekeeping. You're
You literally are.
a queer
Do you not
person
know what
who I
gatekeeping
accept and
is?
love. You are a queer person who I accept and love as a woman.
No,
You are in
don't.
a
Okay.
queer relationship.
Earlier, when we had our previous guest, she displayed her transphobia openly and loudly,
And I
would
don't have
defer that to
transphobia.
your fake acceptance.
I grew up thinking
You're
I
not-
was bi or pan, and now I'm lesbian, and I'm just trying to explain to you the community has a word for what you're saying. It's called queer. It's not gatekeeping.
You don't know what queer
You
means.
are a woman, so I'm not
Define queer.
gatekeeping you from being a woman.
Define queer.
Queer is a relation, if you want to look it up, it's a relationship that is meant to be exactly what you're describing. You also like non-binary.
I'm asking you to
I'm
define
sorry
it
that
when
you
you're
would
not
love
doing
to
it.
identify as lesbian, but you also like
Izzy,
non-binary.
define queer.
Sorry, I just need to
I can look it up for you if
Do
you'd
it.
like.
Go for it.
So this doesn't make any sense because like when you define your attraction, it is very individualized. And like I like to use for myself as someone who's not part of the community, I am a woman who is attracted to men, but that also includes trans men. Mel, shush. No, I will not.
Everyone keep tapping that screen. If you, this is your, if
Can you guys not hear me when I have
right,
Google
hi in
open?
chat, guys. Right, hi in chat if it's your first
Correct.
time.
If you can't see Adora, we can't hear you.
I was trying to talk to you when I had Google open, but it seemed like you guys couldn't hear me.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can't.
we can hear you when you're off app.
Oh, okay. Well, I only have one phone at the current moment, but I looked it up earlier just to make sure that I wasn't improper or hurting anyone's feelings because I am trying to be accepting. I'm just trying to explain to you that there, in case you don't know the word, there is a word for the definition you're explaining. You said you like non-binary. Also,
Oh my
that
God, I just want you to define queer. That's it.
I just told you I was trying to go to Google and you couldn't hear me because I was talking
Okay,
to you and you didn't
so
respond.
go back to Google, memorize the definition.
Okay, well,
come-
I would love a safe space that feels non-attacking and like so just less harsh because I'm trying to be very
the
polite.
irony of that statement.
What's that?
You're the one who is being gatekeeping and exclusionary.
I'm not being rude or mean or impolite or trying to hurt your feelings. I'm just trying
Because
to
you're saying you're not, you still
Identities
tell
is
you
rude.
about a word called queer that is
Okay.
maybe
You're impacted.
You refuse to grab a definition, so I will do it for you.
Go
Denoting
ahead.
or
I would love if you did that, and I'm fully accepting if you want to search.
okay, denoting or relating to a sexual or gender identity that does not correspond to established ideas of sexuality and gender, especially heterosexual norms.
So it's
You
an
can
umbrella
unlock.
for everything.
Yeah.
And also, as somebody outside of the community, I do not use that word. I only refer to the LGBTQ community. So, like, having the requirement to use the Q word would be very problematic for people to have to explain people within the community when that is a reclaimed slur. Izzy, you're muted.
Mel, would you mind sending her an invite to unmute? I'm doing something.
Okay.
Hello.
Oops. Hello. All right. Did you understand? Do you agree with the definition that I gave?
I'm not sure at what point I got muted, but I did respond to
muted-
that.
I muted you.
Right, and that's okay. I'm just trying to say, I just wanted to let you know about a word that exists in our community that
Wait, and she just explained it. Did you hear anything?
It's an umbrella term for the entire community.
Okay, I was trying to say something. I just really, I hope you understand, people would love a space and community where we could say our thought that you put us on here for and not be completely.
We're waiting for
I
it.
would love for you to engage.
Okay. Again, you are a woman. I accept you as a woman. Whatever you want to identify as is fully okay. The point is I was all trying to make is that I'm letting you know that there is a word in our community that I am also in that I'm just letting you know about the word and just explaining.
Right, and did you?
that your
And then she read you.
situation
Okay, and then she
sounds
read you the
clear.
definition. Right. Then she read you the definition of the word.
Yes, and I heard it, and I
And
said
did you
that
hear what
that
I
is
said about it? How it's a reclaimed slur.
And it's because you said you don't, it's the fact that you said you also like non-binary people. So that would make you queer and not lesbian.
That's not
There's
true.
labels for a reason to help people understand you better. It's not a matter of gatekeeping. It's a matter of explaining.
Izzy, I don't think you are capable of engaging in this conversation.
Me neither.
That's okay.
You're just
If
repeating
that's how
yourself
you
over and over and
feel.
over.
Oh, it's not okay. It's actually very annoying.
If that's how
Yeah.
you
We're
feel,
trying to
I
have-
respect that, and that's okay. But I'm just letting you know.
You're a little like, if that's how you feel, and that's not helping anything.
I don't think that me being nice is like somehow twisted.
You're not
into
being nice. You're being
mean.
condescending. So listen,
I'm not
again,
being
did you hear what I
condescending
said
at
about
all.
the
I'm
word
actually
being?
just trying to be polite
Did
while
you-
you're being.
As you steamroll now, guys, get those steamrollers going.
Did you hear what I said about the word being a reclaimed slur?
I've never in the community have ever heard that before. I've never heard that. It's literally in the LGBTQ. It's our community. I'm just trying to help you understand what I'm trying to say, but you guys keep cutting me off in a very rude way, calling me names and saying I'm
You're
mean.
steamrolling. You won't let us talk, and you just make the same point over and over and over.
I won't let you talk?
Yes, exactly. You're steamrolling and making the same point over and over and over, and refusing to engage in anything that Mel and I say.
I am listening to you, and I'm the one that got muted. And I never got to finish a thought without you guys steamrolling over me. So I don't know why you're mad at me. I'm just trying to be nice and trying to have a conversation, but it seems like you're more into rage bait.
Gatekeeping is not being nice.
Again, you have made your point. You keep saying
And
that
then you
because
said
Adora,
that me being nice can be
you
twisted
keep
into
saying
being mean, but I'm actually not being
every
mean,
time
I'm
I talk,
being
you talk.
nice. Because you've been doing the same thing. So at this point, this is where I'm at.
No, I haven't. Like, here's the thing.
That's
Again,
all you
you've
do
already
now.
said,
Sweetheart, that's all you do.
You've
So if you can
already
do
said that
I can do the same
we
thing.
can't have a conversation unless you stop
Exactly.
talking.
So you need to also learn that when I'm speaking.
Okay,
That's the
what
point.
I'm trying to do is say that you already said that Adora cannot be a lesbian because she's attracted to non-binary people. We're trying to have a conversation about that. But every time you start talking, you're just repeating yourself. So we're trying to get you to engage in the conversation. So whether or not you have heard that the Q word is a reclaimed slur, it is, okay? And people outside of the community should not be using that term.
You're muted, Izzy.
Now it's your turn to speak, Izzy.
Am I unmuted now?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now, is it okay if I speak?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry that you took it in an offensive way. That was not my intentions, even in the slightest bit, even accidentally. So I hope you can just hear that part with compassion and understand what I'm trying to do here, which is be on here to have a side and a chance to speak, to explain, so we can have a conversation, not an argument. And my point is, I am in the community. I am a lesbian. I'm not gatekeeping it. It's just we use words in society to help explain things, so we have.
Define gatekeeping.
Is it okay if I have my chance since I was muted while you were speaking? And I also wasn't trying to interrupt you while I was muted either.
You're still talking, Izzy. Just instead of complaining about being muted or whatever, just make
No,
your
he
point.
just interrupted me though. He just again.
Gatekeeping is the act of controlling access
Did you just
to community or
I'm
misgender
sorry,
Adora?
I meant
Wait
to
a
say
minute.
she, and I apologize, and I meant she genuinely. I just, sometimes grammar is just embedded in us and we forget, and it's not an offensive thing. If it's an accident, it shouldn't be taken so harshly.
you view her as a woman-
When you misgender someone, the correct thing to do is apologize, correct yourself, move on.
that's what I just
Don't
did. I
make it a
said,
big-
I'm sorry,
right,
and I
then
meant
you made
she.
it into a whole big deal.
I meant
Because-
she.
You made it a big deal about yourself, is what you did.
You made it a big deal, and I'm.
No, Izzy, you made it a big deal.
I'm trying to say
Mel just
sorry,
corrected
and I
you.
meant
Mel
she.
only corrected you.
And now you're
Look,
getting mad, and I genuinely
Izzy,
am
you're
sorry.
getting defensive and making this about you.
everything
All
about
I'm
you.
saying is that if you like non-binary people, also that is called queer in the community, and I don't.
Yeah, you've said that 20,000 times now.
I don't think that's
the definition of gatekeeping.
You said the
is
same
act
things
of
many
controlling
times in a row
access
as
to
well,
group,
and it was
community,
okay
or
when you
culture,
repeated
or
yourself.
limiting participation in
But
it.
I said I am
You are
sorry,
gatekeeping
and I
being lesbian.
genuinely did not mean to do that, and I already said I was sorry. I'm
You're
not
still on misgendering me?
I am trying to say sorry because you're still on the fact that like I'm a bad person for it and it was an accident, and I'm saying sorry, and you said you should have said sorry. You said you should have said sorry
The
and not made
correct
a big
thing to
deal
do
about it.
when you misgender someone is to correct yourself, apologize,
And that's
move
what I
on.
did, and you're getting
You
mad
are
at me for
centering
it.
yourself. I have already moved on. You're
Okay.
pulling me back
So thank
into it
you
and
for
making this
accepting
about
my
you.
apology, if that's what that was. I misunderstood. I thought you didn't accept my apology. That's why I said it again.
I don't accept your apology. I don't care
okay.
either. I also don't care.
Well, that's fine. You don't have to accept it. I'm still going to give it, and I still am sorry. And it was a genuine accident. And I am literally lesbian in the community and accepting of all people, non-binary, women, men,
Stop
any kind
pretending.
of
Stop
like.
pretending
There's
to
no
not
issue
be
here. There's no like ill intent.
Okay, so gatekeeping. Thank you for the head mustache. Gatekeeping is the act of controlling access to a group, community, or culture, or limiting participation in it, which is exactly what you are doing. You are limiting the amount of people who can be lesbian with your definition.
For the definition and explaining that, I will say that it is not gatekeeping. It's me using an extra word society has created in our community that is not a slur to use to help explain, so people can help use words to explain themselves.
It's a reclaimed slur, so still people outside of the community can't use
How
it.
come when I say something more than once, you get mad, but you can say the same fact?
Because you just brought it up again, and you said it's not a slur, and I didn't say it
You
was
also
a
brought
slur.
up that it is a slur, but I'm telling you, I've never heard of that in the entire time I've been in the community. And Mel, you
Great,
said
that
you're
doesn't
not.
mean that it doesn't
You said
exist,
you're not in the
right?
community.
So again, the reason why I brought that up is because, like, if I, as someone outside of the community, is trying to,
these terms have been used for
define-
so long for
oh
a
my
reason.
gosh, Izzy.
And they've been in the community for a reason. So how?
Okay, I'm muting you again because I wanted to make a point.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
If I wanted to define Adora's attraction to someone else, I cannot use the Q word, right? Because I am not within the community. And again, that's an umbrella term for everything. You can be trans and just use that word, and you can be trans and straight. Like, it doesn't matter. But either way, trying to require someone to use the keyword can be very problematic because it can make people outside of the community feel like it's okay to use a reclaimed slur. That's all I was trying to say. But every time I try to speak, you speak over me. I don't understand. So now I'm going to unmute you, and please respond to what I said.
Hello.
All right. It's your turn.
So if I respond, you just made a point that I actually, like, I don't think, and I would like the sentence to be completed so you can understand what I mean, because I need the end of the sentence to get you to kind of understand my point. And since you had your turn, I'll have mine now by saying you made a point, and I want to say something about that because you kind of just made my point. So you're saying Adora is in the community, and Mel, you are not. So therefore, you are not allowed to use the Q word. I have been in the community since I was a tiny kid. Okay, like I've always known. And I've been in it. I've been very, very active in it. Like I know what the community is like. And we have had these words for a long time for reasons. And if you are saying that they are now slurs, which is news to me, which is like, I can just accept what you say and be like, okay, if that was the case though, Adora can say that she is queer because she is in the community. So when you're saying your sexuality, if you're in the community, you should be able to say your sexuality and not have it be a slur then.
Yes, but okay, that is not what I said.
I'm actually not done, and I really would love
It's still not what I said, though. You're saying what I said is wrong.
Okay, but I would love to complete my sentence, even though your things might be wrong on what I meant.
What you're saying is based
Sometimes
off
what
the
I meant isn't what
misinterpretation
you're
of what Mel
saying.
said.
And I just also want the same chance to finish.
What you're saying is based on a
Can I say the word
misinterpretation of what
lesbian?
Mel
Yeah, that's a
said.
good question. Can I say I'm lesbian if I'm in the community, and is it a slur now? Like, no, it's not a slur to be a sexuality.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, a reclaimed slur means it's something that used to be used as a slur, and then the
And I've
community took
never
it back.
heard that. I've never heard that that's a slur. It's literally in LGBTQ.
It
The Q is in
was
the
a slur.
LGBTQ.
It's reclaimed. which means
LGBTQ
the community
plus.
took it back.
So it's like the Q is in it.
Izzy, are you listening?
Yes, I hear your point. You've said it many times. It's a slur.
It
I get that.
was
I
a
get that
slur.
it's a
It
slur.
was a slur. It is no longer a slur because the
So
community
then
took
we
it back.
can use it. So Adora can say she is queer.
Yes, she
because
can. I
likes
cannot. So how would
non-binary.
I, as someone outside of the community, define Adora's
She also
sexuality?
likes non-binary.
Oh my God, you're
That
like
means she's not lesbian.
Guys, I would like to hear what Nolan has to say here.
Hi. Just so you guys know, I'm 29. I'm more than old enough. So, Izzy, it definitely is a reclaimed slur. You said you've been in the community since you were, what, 7?
I didn't say 7. I just said since I was a little kid.
Oh, little kid, 7. Sorry, I thought I heard a number.
That's okay. It's completely fine.
So when I was a kid, one of the main slurs that I was called was queer. I was literally physically bullied, emotionally bullied by other kids. But outside of that, that's not everybody's experience, and I understand how you might not have. But another thing is...
Just like gay is allowed to say still.
Right. Well, people like me who did have that experience might have some trauma related to that word.
So do you not use gay?
Hold on.
'Cause I mean...
Can I talk?
Sure.
Okay. So, some people might have trauma associated with the word queer. And while it is a reclaimed slur, it's no longer a slur. You cannot force a label onto somebody who does not resonate with it, right? So if Adora as a woman is sitting here saying that she is a lesbian, I'm going to take that and assume that she knows her sexuality and her identity better than anybody in here, better than any guest that could come up. I am not going to try and gatekeep any sexuality, and I don't think anybody should. So if lesbian is the term that resonates with her sexuality, why do you think you should try and force the term queer on her when it's obviously making her uncomfortable?
Appreciate you, Nolan.
Yeah, no problem. That's all. That's really all I had to say. So, like, I don't really care what you have to say in response to that because I don't want to get into the circular thing. So, I'm gonna drop back down. That was my little bit.
Thank you, Nolan. You have a good one.
You have a good one. I think the word gay has been used offensively. I think the word lesbian is used the word offensively, but it's in the community LGBTQ plus for a reason. And Adora is in the community, so she is allowed to say queer. And that is the definition that best describes the scenario when you are liking women and non-binary. And I'm just trying to help with educating on a word. And I'm sorry that you guys took it the way you took it.
I think you need to do that education yourself. Regardless, we're not going anywhere here.
That's fine. If that's
so, and I have loads of people in requests, so we're not going to have a
I hope you have a lovely day. And I'm sorry for the, miscommunication.
I don't think you're sorry for anything. Bye.
Okay, sweetheart. Have a nice day.
All right.
Ugh.
Oof. Guys, I found a way to force the transphobes to engage in my channel. Whenever I bring up a poll, the transphobes engage like crazy. All right, everyone keep tapping that screen. Don't forget, next Friday, Mel and I are doing a Melodora duo at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be Halloween themed, just the two of us taking on opposition. Make sure to be there. It's always a load of fun. If you are new to my channel, write hi in chat. Oops, that is not a person that I meant to bring up. 1 second, let's get them out of here. Goodbye.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right. How old are you, please?
I am 18.
Fantastic. What year were you born?
2005.
2005. Fantastic. Can males
My
be
birthday's in 3 days. No, not in my opinion.
Why not?
Well, because I guess to start with, lesbians, the definition of a lesbian is a female who is in love and in a relationship with a female.
Okay, what does female mean to you?
Female is somebody who was born or identifies as a female.
Someone who was born as or identifies as female. Well, I have female sex characteristics. I would even argue that I'm sociologically female.
You identify as a female, don't you?
In part, depending on what we're talking about. From a biological standpoint, I do have female sex characteristics, for instance, my hormone levels and my genitalia. And I would also argue that socially, female is used to represent gender sometimes.
Well, you could also argue that male and female are sex, right? That's what you would call sex.
The correct usage of male and female is in reference to our biology, not our sociology.
Well, when it comes to trans people, they get a sex change. That is what it's called, a sex change. Correct? Well, why is that not? That's what they call it. That's what I know they call it.
Do all transgender people get sex changes?
No, because some are they, them. Some are non-binary. So
do
not
all
all
non-binary people not change their sex?
I mean, no. I don't think everybody changes everything about them unless they identify as a female. If they identify as a female and they are actively trying to become that,
no.
I believe
this is a harmful
themselves
misconception.
a lesbian.
No, this
How's
is
that so?
Because even if you're binary, if you're a binary trans woman, you don't have to have bottom surgery to be valid. You don't have to have top surgery to be valid. You don't have to have hormones to be valid.
Okay.
Hello, Jay, how's it going?
Well,
hi, Adora. Doing well. How are you?
I saw in chat that you're a sociologist.
Okay.
Yeah, I have an undergraduate degree in sociology, and I just accomplished my master's in social sciences. I'm walking tomorrow.
Fantastic. I would love to hear your interpretation of how I've been talking about sociology.
So I walked in at the tail end of your last... Yeah. So I'm not really sure on the complete context of the conversation. However, the way I see it is sociologically, all minorities have a social understanding because I don't know if anyone knows what structural functionalism or conflict theory is, but they work hand in hand, and our society is said to be based off of these functions according to the fathers of sociology, Karl Marx specifically. So basically, the way it's talked about is that we are social actors working in a play, to put it in perspective. Anyone who is controlling the play are the people who have the most power in society. The people who have most power in society do what they want without anyone else getting in the way. So when minorities come together and band, we have a social understanding that we have a comfort and a safe space. For me, as a queer person who is a sociologist, the way I think about this is that, I mean, it's incredible. I'm watching you change social normatives in front of my eyeballs. You know what I'm saying? This is something that is a new movement. And I feel like through the perspective that we have, we are uprooting the capitalistic society that we have been enforced gender roles into and all these misogynistic normatives. And instead you're changing language barriers and you're creating new safe spaces. So, I mean, it's very forward moving. If anyone who's a sociologist will tell you, we will always continue to change and move forward in society. Society doesn't stay the same. We're never going to stay the same. So I definitely agree with you. Males can be lesbians. However, I think that this is a very sensitive topic. And I think that the way that you come across is very good and informative. However, I do see where some people within the community can be a little lost because everyone's so quick to jump. Hey, why are you saying this? You're invalidating someone. But no, you're not. We just need to stop and think about it for a second. Does that make sense?
I think so. I feel like that's what I'm trying to achieve. I'm trying to do that within reason.
Yes, I would totally agree. I think that this is not an outstretch, an outreach at all. You're just trying to, it's the same thing as reclaiming the word queer. You're trying to go forward moving, you're trying to go forward thinking, you're trying to innovate, you're trying to create safe spaces, you're trying to show new things to people who haven't seen them before because you're trying to normalize and get more people to understand a thought process that they cannot understand right now, if that makes sense.
Awesome. So, Kit Kat, do you have any, are you following this at all?
Yeah. I still don't really understand how you identify as a male still, though.
From a biological standpoint, I have male sex characteristics still. It's a near certainty that I have XY chromosomes and that those XY chromosomes are male.
Okay, but you're taking the hormones, right?
Right, but all she's saying is that her sex, like she still has male sex characteristics, but her identity is a woman.
Well, that doesn't mean that you're a male, in my opinion.
Well, you still, like, so if you weren't referring to Adora, right, and you're referring to another trans woman whose identity is still woman, but they didn't do anything. They've taken no hormones. They've done no surgeries. They're still a woman, and if they're attracted to women,
absolutely.
So if they're attracted to women, they're a lesbian, but they're male.
Yes, but they're no longer male. They're a trans male. They're not male.
No, they're a trans woman.
Well, trans woman still isn't male. That's trans woman.
A trans woman is still male.
I feel like that's the
I'm sorry, Mel. Kit Kat, can I just try to break it down for you for a second?
Sure.
Let's think about this in a different way. Sex and gender are separate, babes. So when we want to identify, we have to keep our gender and our sex separate. So when Adora's trying to explain this, Adora says males can be lesbians, not men can be lesbians, males can be lesbians. So that's what I was talking about earlier. It can be slightly tricky because we have to really stop and think about our implicit biases.
But
so when we're thinking males can be lesbians, you need to consider all working parts here. We're really just trying to change the verbiage in the language to become more inclusive towards everyone.
It's still, in my opinion, it still is inclusive to say that you're a trans female, because that people
that's
would
not
know
the situation,
that you are
babes.
not
But that's not the situation.
cisgender.
That's not the reality that we're looking at, and that's how we're going to change the way people think about it. Is that once we start accepting all of this verbiage and language into our common language when it comes to queer people, it helps so many more queer people and non-binary people and lesbians and gay men and anyone LGBTQIA+. It helps all these people and it helps uplift these people so that they're not targeted. You hear me? Like when we start actually changing our thought process around these verbs, around these nouns and our verbiage, we start becoming more inclusive. And even though we might think, wow, we're being inclusive right now, there's still always room to grow. So when you're hearing Adora say, this is this, and this is my experience, it's not going to be the same experience as other people that you've seen. Adora's experience is completely unique to Adora. However, we all still have this social understanding that we all still need to protect each other and listen to each other because we are the minority. So if we are going to move forward in society, we need to uplift each other.
Well, I'm certainly not trying to not uplift you by saying that you're not a male. I just don't understand how you still could be if you are transitioning. I know that you have the chromosomes of a male. I understand.
Not all. Sorry, I'll let you finish. My apologies.
Okay, yeah, but you are actively changing everything about yourself to no longer be male. Therefore, you would be a trans female, not male.
There are some things that I can change, and there's some things that I can't. There are 5 major categories for sex. They're your chromosomes, your genitalia, your gonads, your neurological sex, and your hormonal sex. Of these, I cannot change my neurological sex. I cannot change my chromosomal sex. I can mute my gonads by removing them. I can't change them from male to female. I can't have eggs. I can change my genitalia from male to female, and I can change my hormone levels from male to female. So some aspects of my sex I can change, and some aspects of my sex I can't change.
Exactly, but that would no longer make you a male in my eyes. You still would have, yes, male attributes, things that you cannot change, but you're still a female through and through. Like, you are doing everything that you possibly can.
Kat, that's why I gave you the example, though, of a trans woman who didn't change anything, is still a woman and is male, right? Like, 'cause they have.
Because even if you're like taking the first step, like realizing it, you're still a female because you always have been. You're just now realizing that part of yourself.
We are using gender, though, to define these things, right, as your identity. So you are a woman or a girl. And I was going to give you the example of a child, right? So if a transgender girl, right, who was assigned to male at birth, has parents who will not allow her to take any type of medical steps, right? So she's still under the age of 18. She's still a girl. She's taken no hormones, had no surgeries, right? And she's still male. Everything about her is male at this point.
Except
she
for
can
the
be
way
a
that she
lesbian.
feels about herself, which would therefore make her, in her eyes, a female, right? So if you're still trying to become,
but that's the thing. You can't.
female-
We are separating gender and sex, though. They're two different things. So her identity is a girl, which she could use interchangeably with female when she's
then
talking about her
I don't
identity.
think that she could call herself a lesbian until she becomes a female.
No, see, that's problematic, right?
I don't. Well,
like my daughter is literally, like, she is on hormones, but she literally is a girl under the age of 18. She's a transgender girl. She was assigned to male at birth. Everything about her is still male except for her except for her hormones, right? And she is attracted to girls. She considers herself a lesbian.
okay, then she is a lesbian because she's a female now.
She's a girl.
But she's not a female?
Correct. She's not a female. That's not her sex. Her sex is still male. That's how she's a male.
Is she
who's a lesbian.
going to change that? Or is she just going to keep herself a male?
She has taken hormones, but the thing is that there's no requirement. There's no transition required to be transgender. Like, she could never take hormones, never get surgeries, and still be a girl, right? Attracted to girls, therefore a lesbian, even though she's male.
Well, then she wouldn't be a lesbian because she's a male.
But her identity is still of a girl, so she's a girl.
Exactly.
attracted to girls.
That's what makes her a lesbian. See, you can, I guess, like, you could put it in both instances. You could. That's what makes you the lesbian, not the male part. The fact that you are a female.
That's correct.
The fact that you are a girl would make you a lesbian.
Your identity is what's making you a lesbian.
The part of saying that you're a male wouldn't make you a lesbian at all. Like, the male part.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. It's about your identity and your and who you're attracted to. So if you're a girl attracted to girls, you're a lesbian. Your sex is irrelevant. But the reason why this topic is here is to actually explain the difference between gender and sex and talk about how trans identities are valid.
Another way to think about it, Kit Kat, is like your sexual orientation and your gender identity are completely different, just like how your gender and sex are completely different. But when we're talking about gender identity and sexual orientation, this is the viewpoint that other people have for you and how you're presenting yourself to the world. So there are main differences, but they do connect. That doesn't mean that they are the same.
She's gone, Adora.
Oh, she's gone? Okay, cool. Kitty, back up. I already let Kitty the opportunity to go out, and you didn't go out.
What's wrong with being straight? Nothing.
Literally nothing. Yeah. Y'all can keep your black and white color of this flag.
Can we have something better, please?
Right?
What the hell is that?
How you doing, Jay? You with me, Jay?
Yeah,
Hey.
sorry. I
How's
was
it
trying to
going?
unmute. I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Doing all right. I've seen you in chat for ages now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, you've given me so much inspo. I'm graduating masters tomorrow, which will be the first time that I get to actually walk due to the pandemic, and I have major imposter syndrome. So I'm like super looking forward to it, but also really thinking about and contemplating on what to do with my life. And you have given me inspiration to just try to reach out to as many people as I can. So I've just really tried to hop onto your live and Mel's live as much as possible.
I appreciate that so much, Jay. I am definitely looking for new panelists. I've seen you in chat. Having you up here has been awesome. So anytime you want a panel, just put in a request. I gave you a follow.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I appreciate both of you. And if you ever need some kind of sociological perspective, I am more than willing and able to be here for you.
That would be awesome. My understanding of sociology is bare bones. So
Well, I got you. No worries. I can sit on here if you want and mute, or I can just go back into chat. It's totally up to you.
You're welcome to hang out.
Okay.
I'm here for the long run. If this live continues to go the way that it is going, I'm likely going to run late today.
Okay. Well, I'll be here to support then.
Okay.
I'm
All right, everyone tap that screen. If you're new to the live, write hi in chat. If you are a follower of mine, write Grayskull in chat.
Those of you that don't like me, I'm leaving soon. I have an appointment, unfortunately.
I'm sad.
No, I know. I have a life. Ugh.
Not allowed. Hello, Gaia. You with me? Hello? Accidental request? All right. So I have 30 people in requests right now, guys. So if you're, there are two ways to get yourself to the head of the line. Way number one is the more expensive route. You can cash out me $10. That's to Adora 1111, or my cash app is also in my bio, the link tree in my bio. Half of that goes to charity. Half of that goes to me. That gets you right to the top of the line, guaranteed. You'll be next in line. The other way to get to the top of the line is to send a few roses. Sending a few roses puts you to the top of the TikTok order.
To the person who said that everyone doesn't like me, the people who do like me, you guys, let them know that they're wrong.
Those of you saying stop asking for more money, I'm asking for money from my oppressor, not for more money from my community. Hello, Nick. How you doing?
I'm good. Before we start, your platform is...
I need to know your age first, Nick.
18.
18, what year were you born?
October 2nd, 2005.
Fantastic. Okay. All right. Go for it.
Your platform endorses free speech, right? Before you start.
No.
No, you can't like slur people on here.
No, I mean as in because like it's supposed to be discussion. You keep muting the chat. So therefore it's not open discussion. You're kind of oppressing people with different opinions. Because you keep playing the chat.
Right now. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but before you were keep playing the chat on sub only.
Okay.
Why is chat telling me you're 16?
I'm not 16, bro.
Your bio says 16. I'm not taking a chance. Goodbye.
Update that shit if you actually changed you're actually older now. It's really interesting how people think that on these platforms we need to just allow people to say whatever they want.
I know, huh? Yep. No, straight up. Not only is it not free speech here, but I don't think that we should have free speech from a governmental perspective either. I think that we should have limited speech. Limited as in we should not allow hate speech.
Agree.
Hi.
Hello, Claire. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right. How old are you, please?
I'm 18.
And what year were you born?
2005.
Fantastic. Can males be lesbians?
Yes.
Fantastic. Love to hear it.
Yeah, I support all of that. I'm a number one person who doesn't judge, because I've got a friend who's that as well.
Aww, lemonade is
I
good.
support everything. It's the one in the middle of my profile picture.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Claire, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No, just to say that I hope everyone has a good day or night, whatever it is. And
Right. Thank you, Claire.
I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon or night or morning, whatever it is.
All right. You have a good one.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. I found my lemonade prop.
Did they have the lemonade gift still, or is that gone?
I think there's still a lemonade gift.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing? I probably can't say.
I'm 31, 042193.
Fantastic. And can males be lesbians? I almost said it. I didn't. I stopped myself.
I would say no, only because the word lesbian is defined as a homosexual woman or girl. And you're saying, can males be a lesbian? No, because...
Can males be women?
If they wanted to, yeah.
Oh shit, there's no more lemonade.
But
somebody sent you one.
Someone sent me one?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Thank you for the lemonade. I don't have it on my end. Okay. So you're saying that males can be women. Thank you for the lemonade.
If they wanted to. If that's something they choose that they wanted to do, you know what I mean? So I'm just saying, as far as they can't be defined as like males, you're saying males. You didn't say, can a woman or a male transgendering, trans to a woman be lesbian? You're saying, can a male be a lesbian? No.
Yeah, because there's a difference.
But a male can be a woman, right?
If they want to.
So there's a difference between gender and sex. Yeah, and it sounds like you don't have an understanding on like what being transgender is.
Ma'am, it's not that I don't have an understanding. It's that what it says in the statements, males can be lesbian.
Right. It was the fact that you said...
I'm answering. I'm just saying I'm answering.
But it was the fact that you said males transgendering into women. That's why I...
Okay, because I changed what I was trying to say. If a male want to be a woman, if they want to do that, they can. But he said, she was like, males can be lesbians. No, because lesbians are defined as homosexual women. Now, if a male want to be a woman and call himself a lesbian, then yeah.
Okay, Taylor, you said at the beginning, women or girls. Do you think Adora is a woman or a girl?
Do you define yourself as a woman or a girl? I'm asking. This is a question to Adora. Do you define yourself as a woman or a girl?
I am a woman.
Okay, well, yes, then. If that's what you defined yourself as, that's what you can be in life. If I define myself as anything I want to be in life, that's what I am. But other than that...
I need to stress this. Being transgender is not a want. I don't want to be a woman. I am.
Okay, well, I mean, okay, listen, you're asking my opinion.
Well, and that's what we wanted to understand.
Mel, I'm talking right now.
This is literally what I'm trying to explain.
I know, but if I'm trying to talk and you're trying to talk with me, we're never going to understand each other. So if let me speak and then I will allow you to speak, and let's be respectful. That's all I'm saying.
I did try to explain transgender to you a while ago, though, and then you started talking.
You don't have to explain anything to me. I can really just
that's
go
the
look
point
at
of this platform, right? We're trying to, especially step one.
Actually, the point of the platform was, can males be lesbian?
No, the point of the platform is to advocate for transgender people, right? So to not have an understanding on what being transgender is like where we need to start with you.
No, you don't, ma'am. Do you want to know something? You want to know something, Mel? Would you like to know something? I like women myself, so I'm not judging. I'm not judging at all. I'm just making a statement and stating facts. Because if you go to Google and you look up lesbian, it is defined as a homosexual woman or girl, not a homosexual man that wants to be a lesbian. Why would a man want to be a lesbian?
You didn't say that.
If he likes women. Okay, but that's what the question is saying, Mel. So you don't have to.
I don't think you're coming from a place of wanting to be harmful. I don't think you're trying to harm anyone, but you're also not coming up from a place of being willing to learn and listen.
I'm not I can't be misinformed. Like I said, if I want to say it in this way, if a male needs okay, so if I grow up and I feel like, okay, I'm not myself in this body, I would like to be a male. You know what I mean?
That is not what being transgender is, and that's what we've been trying to explain to you.
So ma'am, tell me then, how is it? How is it? Are you transgender?
I am not.
Exactly. So Adora, you explained it to me.
Oh, great. Okay.
I'm also
exactly. So if you're not something, Adora, you explained it. You explained it.
You don't have to be something to have an understanding.
Okay, Adora, can you please explain it to me since this is something you've experienced?
Is there a reason you don't want to listen to Mel?
Huh?
Is there a reason you don't want to listen to Mel?
Because Mel has been rude, and I don't want to listen to rude people. And honestly, if my thing is, if you haven't experienced something, or if you haven't went through it, you if anything, you would know more than she would.
Mel's not denying that I have.
I'm asking you. I'm not asking Mel. I'm asking you, what is it? Because I feel like you can explain it to me better versus Mel, and she's never.
Mel can literally explain it just as well as I can.
Okay, but she's not transgender, so I would like for you to explain it.
Hello.
It's like going to court and telling the clerk to be your attorney. No, I'm not. I don't want to law school. Come on.
Okay, so to be a teacher and teach history.
No, ma'am. Okay, because I teach.
No, every time I try to
you need a
speak,
teacher a certificate to be a teacher.
Right, okay, I'll
somebody that has experience.
Why can't I speak?
Are you
seriously?
I would like Adora to speak. I don't want
you. Don't have to be. Right,
okay, Adora, I'm not being
a pediatrician. You don't have to have children, right? Like you can be educated on a topic and then speak about it.
Okay, but I'm not going to go to court asking a clerk to be my attorney either.
Nobody said that.
Okay, but that's my example. So
it's a ridiculous example.
No, it's not. Apparently,
I have an understanding of what being transgender is.
Everybody, put a thumbs up if my example makes sense. If you put a thumbs up, if my example makes sense.
She will not engage in anything with me.
I don't want to hear Mel. I'm asking Adora. What?
You won't even let me talk.
Yes, I will. You want to talk every time I ask you. Mel say something, so I would like to hear from you versus Mel. So I will mute my thing and allow you to speak because I'm trying to get a better understanding from you, not from Mel.
Okay, Killa. Part of having a conversation means taking a break and letting other people talk. Mel has been trying to make a point over and over, and you won't let her breathe.
Because I don't want to hear. I mean, I don't understand what
Mel is my guest.
I want to understand it from you.
Both of them.
She's trying to explain something that she's never went through.
Okay, you know what? Let's do a little experiment. I'm going to let Mel answer, and then I'll tell you if Mel's answer would have been my answer.
I don't want to hear it. So either way it go, I'm telling you, I don't want to hear Mel's answer.
I am in here. When you requested, I was here, correct?
Killa, why wouldn't you? There are transhumans telling you that Mel's a credible source. We trust Mel's.
Because I'm asking from a personal standpoint, from someone that actually has went through something. That's why, because I want to understand from a personal standpoint, somebody's point of view that's actually went through it, actually going through it. And I don't think you're understanding why I'm asking that. And Mel, I'm not saying that what you have to say is going to be wrong. I just want to know from your
Mel is one of my absolute best friends. I know, she and I have been doing this.
She's not. Is she in your body though? I mean, do y'all share the same mind? Do y'all share the same brain?
Right now.
Okay, Mel, say what you got to say since you want to say it.
Because the explanation of being transgender, it doesn't have to be anecdotal, right? So your gender identity develops in the brain. Sometimes people's gender identity develops incongruent from their sex, right? That's just what happens. So you can be male and develop an identity of a woman. So your identity is not a choice. It's not something that you're making. It's not something that you grow up and decide to change genders. You're not changing from one gender to another. Every single person's gender identity develops in their brain as a child. You can speak now.
That's all you have to say.
What do you mean that's all I have to say?
I'm just saying, is that all you have to say? So nobody wants
Yes.
talking over you. You know, that's it.
I did say you could speak now, so yes.
Okay, well, you can't give a grown person permission to speak, so.
You were telling me not to speak.
Did you say that? LOL.
Actually, I wasn't saying no, Mel. I don't want you to talk. I said I didn't want to hear the explanation from you because you haven't.
Okay, great. Did you hear what I said?
You want me to acknowledge what you said so bad. Anyways.
Yes, that's the point of the conversation.
Adora, is that how you feel?
Okay, Killa, I see absolutely. TB Emery, thank you so much for the subscription.
All I'm asking, you said that once Mel explains, he explains.
Jesus, I let that go too long. I let that go too long. I need a way. Thank you for the glasses. Ooh, I have glasses. Where'd they go? I have glasses. I don't have the heart glasses, but I got glasses. I should buy heart glasses too. Thank you.
I saw heart glasses somewhere recently. Maybe it was Hot Topic.
I need a way to let chat let me know when it's time to move on. My moderators are already able to get my attention. Say, hey, let's move on from this guest, and that's fine. But I want a way to allow chat to also say, hey, let's move the fuck on. Because let's see how many guest requests I got.
I don't know why, but I did think that she would actually engage after I explained it. I don't know why I did.
46 guest requests. So I'm going to bring up Emily next, guys. I want to make a quick announcement right now. Tonight's live will not be at 7 p.m. It will be at 9 p.m. Eastern. Tonight's live will be at 9 p.m. Eastern. Alexa, set alarm for 5:30 p.m.
Alarm set for 5:30 p.m.
I'm such an Alexa troll. I'm sorry, guys. I totally did that on purpose.
I'm so glad I don't have an Alexa.
To those of you that have been up before, I'm not going to be accepting requests for people that have already been up. I have 40 people in requests, and I want to get to new people. Don't forget, because we do have 40 people in requests, thank you for the festival bling. Because we do have 40 people in requests, if you just send a rose or two, that typically gets you to the top of the line. It's a few pennies. I think I just got a cash back. I did say thank you for the earlier cash app that I got. Thank you so much. It was for a guest keeps repeating themselves. And the other cash app that I just got, if it'll load, it's just a heart and a tip. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, sorry, I think you tried to connect me earlier and I lost you leaving the gym.
It happens.
Okay, well, can I start off by saying that I am totally willing to listen. I am here open-minded, open-hearted. I 100% support the trans community. I have trans friends, I have gay friends, all of that. And I'm oh, my age, I'm so sorry, I'm 28.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you. All right, go for it.
Is that better right there?
You sound good, yes.
Perfect. Anyway, so totally just support everybody. I really am here open-minded. Can I ask why we switched the chat to sub only? Is it just because there was a lot of hate coming through?
There's a few reasons I do it. One is as a reward to my subscribers. It's a benefit for them.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Number two is that once we pass 1,500 viewers, chat gets really crazy and it gets very difficult for my moderators to keep up. So it's an opportunity to give my moderators a break. And number three is I do make money off of it.
Okay, yeah, awesome. That totally makes sense. I was really just curious about that. So, I'm open-minded. This is just what comes to mind whenever I see the topic of this conversation. In my opinion, males cannot be lesbians. Now, I would obviously love to hear the other opinions and
explain to me how they can be, and I would love to have the back and forth and try to understand myself.
Sure. So would you say that it's possible for a male to be a woman?
I do believe, I mean, speaking in the way that like a biological male, someone who is born a male, can decide to be a woman. They can, yeah, absolutely.
So, great sentiment. I just want to remind you that it's not a decision. We don't decide to be women. We just are.
You are a woman, correct?
Yeah, fantastic. So then we're in agreement then that trans women are women.
Yes, trans women are women. Absolutely.
So is it possible for trans women to be exclusively attracted to women?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Therefore, transgender women who are women and who are also male can be lesbians.
Okay, I guess it's just harder for me to, at the end of the day, in my mind, it really does come down to how a specific transgender female would, I guess how they would, I hate the word label, but how they would identify, how they would label themselves, because I do have female friends who are transgender females. They were born biologically male, and they would absolutely not go for, identifying or being called or even much reminded that they were born male. So,
sure.
If I said to them like, hey, males can be lesbians because you were a male and now you're a transgender female and you like women, therefore that makes, that just, I feel like it would hit them the wrong way. And that's why it didn't make sense to me.
It's not something that we can take away from ourselves. I as a trans woman, I can be either male or I can be intersex. I cannot be born female. But what you're saying is true. For some transgender people, acknowledging that we are male can be harmful to us. It can trigger our dysphoria. So I will never tell a trans person that they have to recognize that they are male. I will never tell them that because that could cause them undue harm. But the reality is that no matter how many surgeries we get, no matter how many hormones we take, we do still have some of the sex characteristics that we had at birth. My chromosomes are likely XY, so I am likely genotypically male. I can't change that. I will always be genotypically male. So therefore, I am a male who is a woman who is exclusively attracted to women and non-binary folk, and therefore a lesbian.
Okay, perfect. Yep, that makes sense. That's really all I needed. I was not here to butt heads and try to, you know what I mean? Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
No problem. You have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. So, guys, on the topic of the money that I make, I donate 5% of all the gifts I receive, and I donate 5% of all the subscriptions that I receive. Typically, I donate to Point of Pride, which is an amazing transgender nonprofit that helps transgender people receive gender-affirming care. This month, as it is AANHPI month, which stands for Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander, I'm going to be donating to a charity that supports them. Several people have reached out to me and with some fantastic charities. I'm going to look at those charities and talk with my team, and we're going to figure out which one we're going to donate to this month. But yeah, it is AANHPI month, and we should celebrate that as best we can and bring awareness to the plights of AANHPI people. Oh, and thank you so much for the tip. Someone sent me a Cash App tip and said, "You're awesome." Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you for the confetti.
Hello, guys.
Hello, Natalie. How are you doing?
I have some questions regarding like Kit Kats, like conversation that you guys had.
I need to know your age.
Oh, sorry, 19. 80304.
Fantastic. Okay. What questions would you like to ask?
So I do believe males can be lesbians because you guys really did a good job like discussing that like males is referring to like biological sex and that people can be trans who haven't changed their biological sex in any way. And, technically, even if you change your sex characteristics, like from a medical standpoint, you can still be male, but that doesn't change your gender. But Mel, you said that when you were discussing with Kit Kat, that lesbian, like the definition and like the identity is kind of based on like gender, right? Like people's gender identity, right? Like,
yeah.
And with that, like, you have to be like like your gender identity has to be not male to be a lesbian. Like your gender identity
male is
not male.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys are saying? It's like the definition of like non-male loving non-male.
Right. We typically say non-man.
Okay. Like with man being gender identity.
Correct.
Okay. Because I've heard that definition before in like queer spaces. I myself is like pansexual or bisexual, but like I still haven't come to terms with one singular identity since, you know, definitions are fluctuating. And I do agree with you, Adora, that people shouldn't gatekeep definitions because, you know, it, you know, means that. But one of the other questions I've like seen discourse about, I mean, I've seen your lives like pop up before, but one of the discourse that I've like heard that I was like wondering your guys' opinion about was, do like people that do identify as like trans masc, which I guess is sometimes different than like trans men, because you can be non-binary and like trans masc, right? They can be lesbian too, technically, if they're like non-binary, because their definition, like their identity, their gender identity doesn't align with being like a non-man. I don't know about that, but I've heard.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, like the way that you define these things is very individualized, right? So yeah, if a person who is trans masc uses the term lesbian to describe themselves, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay.
Because I've heard like discourse about that, and I was wondering your guys' opinion on that, since like that's different than just like non-man living like non-man in a sense. And
I can speak on this for you, Natalie. I am trans mass non-binary specifically.
Okay, wow, great.
And a T for T relationship also. And I think, like Mel said, Mel's great credit for this. It's literally individualized, but also we need to come through a place of positivity and positive intention, right? So when we're talking about these things, and like, again, sociological viewpoint, we're talking about these things, we're always trying to be inclusive of one another. Adora is just stating, you know, how she feels. I'm just stating how I feel. It's just an individualized experience. I'm not going to take, like, if you're asking, like, if I would take, like, offense to that, like, no. You know, I can't change my assigned sex at birth, and that will never, ever change.
Would, like, I know assumptions...
Non-binary trans masc.
Yeah, I know, like, assumptions aren't good in, like, any community, you know? Like, assumptions, you know, we should avoid them. But, Adora, would you, like, feel... If you were in a relationship where you're presenting as femme and you're in a relationship with another femme, if you're trans or not, and someone viewed your relationship as like you being a lesbian, if you, obviously you can correct them, but like, is that in itself like harmful?
I didn't follow. You're saying that if I were in a relationship with another woman?
Yeah, like for example, like Jay is like trans masc non-binary, like the trans femme non-binaries can be a lesbian too, but I'm saying though, like, wait, Adora, do you identify as like a lesbian, right?
Yeah, I'm a woman. I'm exclusively attracted to women and non-binary people.
Okay, so that's the definition. If people viewed your relationship because you both are non-binary as not lesbian, but not because they don't know, but because of like what you're presenting as, like just presenting as like femme masc, would that be harmful? I guess. I know people correct, like that's what your identity is for. I guess I'm just like confused with like some of the, I don't know.
assuming assuming is not automatically problematic. It's just as long as you're willing to be corrected.
Okay, thank you, Mel, because that's my problem I come across in like queer spaces sometimes is that like I see because some people who are non-binary who are attracted to non-binary people and women would, like, for example, would identify maybe as queer or another identity, like, right? And if I assume that they're lesbians because they're both feminine, I wouldn't want to like cause harm in any way just because they're feminine presenting, right? Because there's masculine people who are very feminine, or like trans men who are very feminine too. Like, I wouldn't want to like just view them as lesbians just because they're both femme, right? Thank you guys for clarifying for that and like adding the non-binary aspect that I was curious about. Sorry. For all my words, I'm very talkative and I don't know how to phrase things sometimes.
No, I think it's good. I think it's a good conversation because it does show like how individualized your attraction can be, and like in the labels that you use to define yourself.
Yeah, because I've seen like trans masc people who might not even identify as like masculine, just like trans men who used to be like butch or like different terms that they identify with personally. We shouldn't put those labels on them because they're harmful. But they identify that as personally, or they've been in like lesbian spaces and now they're a trans man and they want to be referred as such. Not even non-binary, just a trans man, and they want to say that they're in a like queer lesbian relationship because they used to be and they were in those spaces and they still identify with that, even though their gender identity has changed. So I just wanted to add that to the topic. So thanks. Can you remove me? I don't know how to move myself.
Thank you for coming up, Natalie. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
Yeah, and by the way, Andy, we see you. Hi.
Hi, Andy. All right. Everyone tap that screen, share the live, please. If you are new to my page, write hi in chat.
All right, I gotta go adult. I'll see you later.
Bye, Mel.
I'll be listening.
Oh.
Bye.
Hello.
Hello, Jess. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Doing all right. How old are you, please?
19, 09, 09, 04. Is that all good?
Oh, you said 1804?
19. I said 09.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I completely respect trans people, but I'm confused. Like, if you've not had surgery, does that make you like? I've seen people say cross-dressers.
Transgender people can cross-dress.
If you've not had surgery, I've seen people say that's what it is. I'm just confused.
Trans identities are valid regardless if you've transitioned medically or not. It's an identity that is not a choice.
Okay. Yeah, I was just a bit confused. Do you know Alpha Bar?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. What would you say from that perspective? Because I've seen people call her a cross-dresser.
She's a detransitioner, right?
Yeah, I had no transitions yet, but she is trans.
If you're a no, she's not transgender. My understanding is that she's cisgender, right? Or
I'm not sure what that means. Sorry.
She's not a detransitioner. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I get her story mixed up.
Okay.
What does her story have to do with the topic?
Oh no, I was just questioning, like, because I want to get to know like all the differences because I don't understand it. So I was just questioning, really.
Okay. So, Jess, it is my argument that transgender women are women.
Okay, yeah. So sorry, I completely forgot about the males can be lesbians. So it's, I don't know, it's difficult without trying to sound like an argument.
That's okay. That's okay. Just let's dig into it.
I think some people I saw in the comments were saying it's just straight people. Because obviously males liking girls, women. But I don't really know. If you explain it to me, then maybe I could understand.
That trans women are women?
Yeah, if you could explain it, please.
Sure. Gender and sex are different things. Biological sex relates to reproductive functions. Gender is psychosocial. Terms like man, woman, and non-binary are gender-based terms. So my gender is woman. My sex is male.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I just don't know much about all trans and all the different...
No problem. I'm sorry to do this, guys, but I need a break. So I'm going to take a few minutes. I might come back. I might not. I'm not sure, but I need a break. So maybe see you guys later. Bye.
Okay. See you later, Adora. Bye.